Today in the studio, folks, I've got a old school badass, man. 1985, you were Mr. Universe.
That's right.
Lee Labrada, folks. I know if you're into bodybuilding at all, you know who this dude is. Icon in the industry. 7 consecutive years in Mr. Olympia. You placed in the top 4. 2002, at the request of the city of Houston, you launched Get Lean Houston campaign to combat the city's obesity problem. Why do you think they were so obese?
We were voted the #1 fattest city in America by Men's Fitness magazine at the time. And I started getting calls from my buddies. It's like, hey, we know you live in Houston. Like, dude, what's up? You know, it's like everybody's fat down there. And so I started getting razzed, and I thought to myself, you know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run down to City Hall. I'm going to talk to the mayor. And so after a series of conversations, I was appointed the fitness czar for the city of Houston. And, you know, from that point on, you know, we implemented programs, weight loss programs, bilingual programs, started making appearances at schools, you know, at events, and basically whipped the city back into shape 2 years later. So you're in the Bodybuilding Hall of Fame as well. I am.
So your whole life has been pretty much bodybuilding.
Pretty much dedicated to building my body, and then after I retired, to helping others to build their bodies. And
now your son, Hunter Labrada, is a bodybuilder.
He is. In fact, he's one of the top 7 bodybuilders in the world. And, you know, Brad, it's like capturing lightning in a bottle twice, you know, because to get to that level, it's like getting to the Super Bowl, you know, and then having a son who also gets to the Super Bowl, you know, so it's a pretty tough deal, but we feel very blessed.
So when you get done with a contest like that, is it time to pig out?
I will tell you that most do. You know, I tended to be a little bit more careful, you know, but I have seen guys, you know, essentially eat anything that's not nailed down and gain 20 or 25 pounds in a matter of a few days, you know, water weight and that type of thing, but not the healthiest thing in the world.
Because you would think to diet and shred down like that, you got to be starving.
Yeah, they are. They're literally starving the fat off their bodies by the time that they get up there on that stage. So yeah, you could say that they're pretty hungry when they're finished. But you know, the smart ones, you know, don't insult their bodies with too much junk and things like that afterwards.
Folks, Lee Labrada Official is where you find him on social media. Labrada.com, Labrada.com. You guys probably have seen his nutritional supplements out and about. Lean Body's one of them. I see those everywhere.
Yep, those are
except the airports.
Except the airports. Yeah.
Stupid.
In fact, it's funny because when you said that, I went and talked to my guys and I basically said, hey, why aren't we in the airports? So we are working on that, but we've got distribution all around the country. Lean Body is the #1 best-selling protein shake in the United States in gyms and is rapidly overtaking other protein shake competitors. We're in over 20,000 convenience stores. We're all over the country.
How many grams of protein per?
40 grams of protein and 0 sugar. You know, the 0 sugar thing is a really cool thing because, you know, again, sugar is one of those things that can make you fat. People are really turning away from sugar. The high protein helps to stabilize the blood sugar and helps to provide the amino acids to help build the muscle tissue. So it's just a great product. And it tastes like ice cream. People can't believe how good it tastes. They think there's got to be something in this.
Do you take it yourself?
I do.
So let's talk. Obviously, I want to talk a little bit nutrition, but you're also an entrepreneur. So I want to talk about that too. Because I mean, it took it. How long did it take you to build up?
We were a 25-year overnight success.
Yeah. Aren't we all?
Man, we started out in a little 2,000 square foot office warehouse. It was just myself, another employee. My dad was in the warehouse actually putting the packets of our Lean Body powders into boxes. Whenever a truck would pull up with our deliveries, we literally had to run out there in our tennis shoes and chain gang the boxes off of the truck because we couldn't afford a forklift. So we literally bootstrapped the thing, you know, and 7 years later, we were an Inc. 500 company, fastest growing companies in the United States. And you know, we were just growing, you know, and spreading out, getting through all the gyms, and which is where we started.
Do you think because your past is why everybody let you in so easily?
You know, it didn't hurt that I had accomplished all the things that I had in the bodybuilding field, and that I was a known quantity. So and we positioned the products that way. Basically made by a professional bodybuilder. For athletes. Now,
you see a lot of people have their own little favorites. What's like? Because somebody always says, you don't want one with sugar. Well, do they all have sugar, or they all have no sugar?
No. Our shakes do not have sugar. They are zero sugar. The protein shakes. And
what kind of protein? Whey?
Actually, it's milk protein isolate. So it's balanced. It has a little bit longer digestion time, which makes it perfect for meals and snacks. Only 260 calories.
Is that why it tastes better?
I believe that it tastes better because we put so much effort into the formulation and the flavor systems. And we've worked with food scientists for years on those, and we've just nailed it.
Yeah, so a lot of them are a little bit chalky, but most of the ones I've tried are, I would assume, whey.
Yeah. Now, whey is popular. The milk protein isolate has both casein and whey in it, which is the complete milk protein. So we like using that. It just it lends for a richer taste, and it also lends for a product that has a slower release of the protein over time.
What are you thinking of these trendy diets going on right now? Like right now, I'm about to start the carnivore.
Boy, I'll tell you what, I don't know much about the carnore. I have heard
that meat,
people
basically
eating just a lot of meat, And then just a few years ago, everybody's saying that meat is bad for you because, of possible colon cancer and all sorts of things like that. And so I think that these diets a lot of times are fads, and they cycle. Brad, they cycle. The Atkins diet was really popular back in the 70s, and then it was resuscitated with the keto diet. It's essentially an Atkins diet, basically is what it is, high protein, high fat, low carbohydrate, so these things just basically cycle back through over time.
Do you think they work?
You know what? I don't think diets work at all. Okay, I think that it's a mistake. In fact, I'm going to tell you that people that write diet books, what they don't want to talk about is relapse prevention. Okay, they don't want to talk about people relapsing. They don't want to say, and they're not going to say that you're going to use my diet, and in 12 weeks you're going to drop 20 or 25 pounds, it's going to be great. But after a couple of months, you're going to find it really hard to stick to this diet, and you're going to regain all the weight that you had lost. They're not going to tell you about that kind of thing, Is the trick to just find something you can stick with? 100%. You nailed it on the head. The trick is not dieting. The trick is to make small changes in your behavior that you can live with, and turn it into a healthy lifestyle.
But how do you know? Like, I want to know how many calories I burn without doing shit. That's where I want to start. Because if someone said, let's say they had a way to read that, which I'm sure they do. They say, okay, Brad, you're burning 2,800 calories a day without doing anything.
Right.
Okay, so that means if I start a little cardio at 500 calories a day, right? Plus I'm burning my 28, that's 30.
That's a lot of cardio, 500 calories a day.
That's 3,300. Well, I do that now.
Do you? That's great.
It started to. I used to do more than that. I used to do it twice a day.
Good.
But now I just want to do it one a day. Once a day cardio, once a day lifting weights. That's all I want. I
think it's plenty. And
I don't need to be a bodybuilder. I'm not winning Mr. Olympia.
And if it's you can say that again.
No, well, I'm not doing that shit. That's heavy duty. You got to wake up. Like Jay Cutler was here one time.
I'm telling you, it's a lot of work.
Jay Cutler, Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
He was here one time. He told me he would get up in the middle of the night to eat.
Oh, yeah.
Like he'd wake himself up just to go eat and then go right back to sleep.
Some of them will do that. Yes.
Like, dude, that is some serious.
Yeah. That's some serious eating. Yeah.
And not only that, it's like, I understand if you're trying to win the competition, but I'm not.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get shredded and lean and firm.
You have found something that works for you. Okay. And that's what I tell everybody, and that's what I recommend for people to do as we approach the new year, start making these New Year's resolutions. Find small changes in your habits, that you can live with, make changes that you can keep for the long haul. Obviously you have found your cadence, you have one workout a day and one cardio session a day. That works for you.
Yeah.
That might be a bit much for others. If they can only get to the gym 3 times a week, fine. But whatever it is, commit to it and stick with it. And, the results will come with the consistency.
Now, if someone were sitting around somewhat chunky but not too fat and wanted just to shred down, how would you tell them to do it?
Well, what I would tell them to do is first of all, I would tell them to write down everything that they're eating in a day. I mean, literally just keep a logbook for 1 week. Just write down everything that goes in your mouth and how much, and then I would take that and I would assess that, and I would start by cutting out certain things, or I should say minimizing certain things, like saturated fats, vis-a-vis French fries, cheese, pizza, burgers, that kind of stuff. And in its place, putting in things that are leaner, making better choices. I would adjust. What's that?
What about a lean burger?
Well, I'm not even sure what you're referring to as a lean burger.
Like, a nice lean hamburger on a piece of Ezekiel bread, with some lettuce and tomato.
Right. Well, you have to be you have to take a look at the nutritional content of the quote unquote lean burger, in terms of how much fat and that kind of thing. But certainly what we're espousing is not a draconian approach where you cut everything. In fact, what I tell people is this: if you're eating, let's say you're eating red meat 5 times a week, could you live with eating red meat twice a week? And if you're eating 8 to 10 ounces of that red meat each time that you eat, could you live with, say, 6 ounces? So the idea is not to eliminate foods, because if you eliminate your favorite foods, what ends up happening is that you start getting that deprivation mentality. You start suffering from deprivation, and then you're going to binge, and then you're going to blow it, So the idea is to make changes and adjustments and not push out all the food altogether, but to just, make modifications, and maybe taking a little bit less and maybe a little bit less off.
Well, you're still ripped, so you're still working out every day.
I'm doing it every day.
Do you eat particularly crazy or
no? I eat pretty clean. I eat pretty clean. I'll
what's
wake up
your
in
diet?
I'll wake up in the morning and I'll have in a blender. I'll put bananas.
Is this every morning?
Every morning. Bananas, blueberries, mango, spinach, avocado, fish oil, olive oil, and a couple of scoops of our hydrolyzed whey protein isolates called Hydro. And I'll put that in there, and I'll have that with a whole grain muffin. My wife is an excellent cook. She makes these muffins made of oat bran and sweet potatoes, and I'll have one of those with it. So that's my breakfast. And then throughout the day, I will...
When's breakfast for you?
When? 8 a.m.
Okay, so then throughout the day.
Yeah, and then throughout the day, for every 2.5 hours after that, I'm eating something. So, and that something will consist of a protein plus a small amount of carbohydrate. So, for instance, at 11 that morning, I will have, say, a piece of fish, black beans and rice, and I'll have a banana for dessert. And then, these meals look pretty much the same about every 2.5, 3 hours for the rest of the day. 6
of them?
Total of 5 for me. Sometimes we'll put clients on eating 6 times a day. In fact, one of the common complaints that we get, Brad, is that, man, I can't eat all the food. I just can't get it all down. They're eating all this food and they're still losing weight. Well, it's because they're eating the right things,
Yeah. Now, where's this? How do people go find this if they want to get on?
So if they want the coaching, they go to leanbodycoaching.com, and that's a program that I developed with my nutritionist Keith Klein, and Keith Klein was my nutritionist during the years that I was competing in the Mr. Olympia, and this is a project that he and I put together with our collective over 40 years each of experience in helping athletes to get into shape. Keith has worked with people that have, metabolic issues, the obese. So it's a very comprehensive program, and it is literally for everybody. Anybody that wants to drop body fat and keep it off. because that's our big thing. It is relapse prevention. We're interested not in the after picture. I mean, that's cool. You have somebody, a guy or a gal that drops 20 or 30 pounds, and you've seen the before and after pictures. What we're interested in is the after picture. We want to know what you look like 2 and 3 years later. We want to teach you how to keep it off. And the only way that we're going to do that is by helping you to create a lifestyle. So we pair you with a live coach, somebody that will actually hold your hand and step you through the entire program.
That's awesome. And that's it. Lean Body Coaching.
Leanbodycoaching.com.
Leanbodycoaching.com. So where were you before all this? Like before bodybuilding? When did you start bodybuilding?
Well, I started bodybuilding when I was 17 years old. I wanted to play football. I was playing football and I got hurt. Ended up in the weight room. And I found out pretty quickly that I was a better bodybuilder than football player. At 5'6", I wasn't going to be playing in the NFL. But my body started responding right away. Found out about a local teenage bodybuilding competition in my hometown, which was Jacksonville, Florida. Trained for about a month, and I showed up. And when I went backstage, I about put my clothes on and went back home because everybody outweighed me by 20, 30, 40 pounds. I was the smallest guy there, but I said, what the hell? I've already gotten into shape. I'm going to go ahead and go through with it. And when the results came back that night, Brad, I won the show. And I didn't understand why, because I didn't fully understand that bodybuilding is not just about being the biggest guy. It's about being shredded. It's about your symmetry, your muscularity, your muscle attachments, your bone structure, so much more. And I was bitten after that point. That's what started my bodybuilding career.
Well, who decides?
Who decides?
Yeah, like in other words,
you have a panel of judges that decide. If that's what you're referring to?
Yeah, that. But I mean, like, what if this person's ligaments and muscle attachments aren't the same as yours?
Yeah,
aren't you born that way?
You are born that way, my friend. Now, here's the thing: everybody can improve. Okay, not everybody can compete at the world level, but not everybody can play football or baseball or basketball at the world level either.
How do you know if you can? How can someone walk into a gym and say, I got the right ligaments for this?
You know what? You don't know until you try. So you owe it to yourself to try, because here's the beauty of it is that it's the journey, that's the path that you're going to get the most satisfaction from, because the weight training, it's not just for us, even as bodybuilders, it's not just about competing. Competing is just one small part of it. Those of us that are really passionate about it, we do it because we love the feeling that it gives us in terms of our energy levels, the way that we look, our strength, our health, so all of those things are important. So you owe it to yourself to try. Now, as far as, hey, how far can I go competing as a bodybuilder? You have to enter competitions and see.
Now there's natty competitions and steroid competitions.
Right.
Which is there any such thing as a natty?
You
think they're all
I tend
on
to
roids?
think, my opinion, because at the end of the day, everybody's got an opinion. My opinion is that it's a personal choice. And so it really comes down to the person, whether they want to, enter their show naturally, or whether they want to augment, by.
You think it's possible though to look freaking monster big?
Well, I think that it's necessary for that monstrous size. I think that you have to have help. Yeah. But I will tell you this, that you don't have to do that in order to put on, 15 or 20 pounds of muscle and look really, really good for the rest of your life.
Really?
And that's what I advise people to do. You can look good naturally.
But you've seen the Liver King.
I've seen him, and I've seen some of the picture stuff. I haven't delved too much into the story.
Well, the story is like he's a shorter dude, but he's just ripped to shreds.
Sure.
And solid too.
Yep.
And everyone was saying he's natural because he eats liver, and basically the carnivore.
I
was looking at the carnivore, and I'm like, dude, that's not natural. I don't know whether
he's natural or not.
Oh, he admitted. He finally admitted it came out.
Okay,
he's not natural.
Not. Okay, so but that's neither here nor there. The thing is, you're not going to look that muscular just by eating liver. You might break out, okay, because liver is what that cow uses to detoxify everything that they put in its body. Okay, so you're consuming that.
Do you eat liver?
No, I don't eat liver.
I wouldn't eat liver. What about tilapia?
Nasty, man.
What about tilapia?
I don't care for tilapia. I like saltwater fish myself. You know, I'm a bit spoiled that way. I like cod. I like red snapper. I like halibut. You know, grouper.
Did you have a chef that would cook you up, or did you meal prep?
Dude, it's like I hit the jackpot with my wife because she loves to cook. And yeah, she was, we've been married now for, I had to think about it for a second. We've been married now for 34 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 34 years and same woman.
That's awesome.
34 years.
Nowadays, that's a freaking, might as well be 100.
Right. Well, you know, the thing is when it's right, it's right. You know, but she literally traveled the entire world with me at the time when I was competing and would help me by, you know, cooking up my foods right there in the hotel room, you know, the things that I needed, you know, so it was a partnership.
Yeah. I'm going to try to get in a little bit better shape. I can't seem to get freaking solid though. Like, you know, a couple of my buddies that are all ripped. You give them a hug. It feels like you're hugging a freaking brick.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing,
kind of soft.
You haven't been at it that long either. You, 2 years now?
No, not even.
Okay. So
8 months.
Okay. And look how much you've changed. You look great. I told you that last time I saw you.
Well, I was getting there. I pulled a arm muscle or something.
Yeah. Bicep.
Some tendon.
Yeah.
So I had to lay off for a second.
See a therapist or something?
No, I just let it heal. It's back to normal.
Yeah. Just
now I'm starting to hit the weights again.
Yeah.
But I had to take a couple weeks off. Everyone's like, you know, dude, I thought you were going to be shredded by now. Hey, you know, I'm an old man, dude.
You're hardly an old man.
I'm an old man. And I'll tell you, you know, it's not the same as it used to be. Sometimes, like right now, my right knee feels like I damaged it somehow. And all I did was leg day.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I like to do, Brad? I like to put these free sleeves on there. You know, it's basically like, it looks like a sleeve, like a tube, you know, and it's just cold. It's a cold pack. You know, and I just keep them in the freezer and I just put them on my knees after doing my leg training and that kind of thing.
Do your knees hurt too?
Take a joint supplement. We've got a great joint supplement. It's called Elastojoint.
Is that a glucosamine or something?
Yeah, it's got glucosamine, it's got collagen in it, but it's a powder, you know, because, you know, you have to take these things in dosages that are shown to work in the studies, you know, and you would literally have to take like 20 or 30 capsules of a normal joint formula to get what you get in one scoop of this Elastojoint.
Can somebody live on lean body shakes?
No, and I'll tell you why. I mean, you could live for a while on lean body shakes or any single food if you had to, you know, but what happens is that if you do too much of a good thing for too long, I think you can get imbalances, you know, so I don't tell people to just live on our lean body shakes. I say use the lean body shakes intelligently to supplement your diet. Eat a whole food diet because whole food is good for you. And so are the lean body shakes to get more protein, but don't live exclusively on lean body shakes.
So if someone's trying to get the protein correct, because where I was going with this 3,300 calorie thing, and if I could figure out what I'm burning, in my mind, calories in, calories out. Now, obviously, right. Calories of Snickers is not as good as calories of lean turkey. Right. But still, calories in, calories out.
Yeah. Ultimately, it's like a bank account, right? You know, you make deposits or you make withdrawals, okay? Anytime you eat, you're making a deposit. Anytime you exercise or just running your metabolism during the day, those are withdrawals, okay? Yeah. And if you have a net balance, then you can gain weight. If you're eating the right things, some of that net gain will be muscle. And that's why the composition of those calories is just as important as how many calories you're consuming.
Yeah. So if I said, you know, I'm 220 pounds. So if I want to be, you know, protecting the muscle, I would want how many calories of protein? You want to take
approximately 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Now you're going to see the literature is going to say anything from 0.75 grams to, you know, a gram and a half. You know, I like to, just as a rule of thumb, I tell our clients to just take 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you're 220, Brad, that'd be 220 grams a day, split up over 5 meals. It's about 40 grams of protein, you know, 45 grams of protein at each meal.
And then you got to figure each gram of proteins, roughly what, 5 calories?
4 calories. Yeah.
If it's lean. Calories.
Yeah. Now,
what if it's not so lean?
Oh, well, then
like a nice New York strip.
Yeah. Then you're going to have some of the grams of fat from the fat that is in the New York strip.
Yeah, so let's just
but
go
that's
5.
Not your protein. That's, you know, protein is just a macronutrient.
Yeah, but still, let's go 5 calories per.
No, and it's 4 calories per gram on the protein itself. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I know where you're going, but see, like if you analyze that strip steak, Okay. You might have 40 grams of protein in that steak, but you'll also have probably a good 20, 30 grams of fat at 9 calories per gram in that steak. You see what I'm saying?
So fat's 9 calories a gram.
Yes. And that's why we don't cut fat out completely. In fact, we think that essential fat, good fat like fish oil and the fat you find in avocados and nuts and those kind of things, those are good, but we want to reduce the amount of junky fats, trans fats and saturated fats, that you get in the diet, like from fried foods, from cheese and things like that.
Yeah. I know some vegans that say when you deep fry a French fry, it releases literally I forget what he said. It's on one of my episodes.
Acrylamide.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
acrylamide. That's what he said.
Acrylamide. And so basically what that is, it's not a fat. What it is, it's a carcinogen. It's a carcinogenic chemical, that is released anytime that you take a white starch and you heat it up past a certain point, like when you fry a French fry, or even if you fried a piece of bread, white bread, it produces some of this acrylamide.
And that's poison.
Well, it's not good for you.
Yeah, so it's like French fries are not good for you.
French fries is one of the worst things that you can eat. Now, being said, if you love French fries, if you eat them one time a month or something like that, it's not going to kill you. Okay?
I love French fries, dude. Especially Five Guys.
Just don't overdo it.
Have you ever had Five Guys?
Yeah, I love Five Guys.
Dude, Five Guys French fries are the best. I do it once a week.
Yeah.
That's my cheat meal.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If you're eating really, really well the rest of the week, it's like I said, I don't think it's going to kill you.
So, okay. So, well, hear me out. I want to get a professional's opinion, because this is just what my thinking is. So if I just said, okay, so 220 grams of protein, I need 4 grams. That's 880 calories, right? Mm-hmm. Then let's say I knock that out. That protects the muscle. And let's say I want to be no more than 2,000 calories a day. So now that gives me 1,120 calories that I can have whatever I want, whether it's carbs or whether it's fat or whether it's freaking ice cream.
Right.
Is that
accurate? Like for an average person, I like to keep the fat calories to less than 20%. So if you've got a 3,000 calorie diet, 20% of that would be 600 calories. 600 calories of fat divided by 9 calories per gram, you're looking at what? You're looking at 65 grams of fat total for the day.
That's low, isn't it?
It's moderate. I think 20% fat is a fairly low amount of fat. I know that the keto people right now are just screaming.
Yeah, they want you up.
Yeah, they want you up on the fat and they want you up on the protein.
What's crazy is they want more fat than protein, though.
Oh, they want the majority of the energy calories to come from fat. The energy comes from basically 2 sources, which is your fats and your carbohydrates. Although if you were to overeat protein, your body can break that down and use it for energy as well, but it's less likely. You have to really overeat protein to get into that condition. So most of your energy calories are coming from carbohydrates and fats. On a keto diet, they want you to minimize the carbohydrate and maximize the fat calories.
And how many ounces of meat contain? I'm trying to let people figure out.
Like 40 grams of protein?
Yeah.
You can get that in a 6-ounce chicken breast, or 6 to 8 ounces of fish. You can get 40 grams of protein.
So if you just stuck to 8 ounces, you'd be safe?
I like to stick with chicken, fish, and turkey breast. Not this ground turkey meat that you find at the store. That's that.
Jenny O's?
Dude, let me tell you something. Okay. It'll say 93% fat free, right? And so people go, oh, this has got to be lean. It's only 7% fat, right? 7% fat, not by calories, 7% fat by weight. Okay. So if you actually do the math, okay, in 100 grams serving, you've got 7 grams of fat, or 7 times 9 calories per gram of fat, 63 calories are coming from fat, which a lot of times, if you do the math, that thing is actually about 40% fat. You could have had your New York strip, for instead of having had that 93% fat-free ground turkey. So, and this is one of those things that we teach our clients, how to read labels, we teach them about all of the things that are happening in the food industry, the way that they pull the wool over their eyes, with the nutrition facts panels.
Do you think you're screwed no matter what?
No, you're not screwed no matter what.
Because there's food out there that's got shit in it no matter what. You go get a, I forget what they call it, but there's a difference between grass-fed and pasture-raised. They make you sound like it's something
and
when it isn't.
Listen, I don't know.
They're putting chemicals in those things to make them fatter.
And I mean, because something is organic doesn't mean that they have not used organic pesticides, right? So what's organic and what's not? What is a chemical that you can put on something and still say it's organic, versus inorganic? Okay, so I just tend to stick with foods that are naturally occurring. I don't buy the organic beef. I don't buy the organic fish and that kind of thing. I just buy the regular. Okay, things that are like blueberries. Okay, that has a lot of skin on it. Strawberries has a lot of skin. So a lot of surface area to come in contact with pesticides and that kind of thing. I'll buy the organic then. But like bananas, I don't buy organic bananas. You're just peeling the things. Or oranges, you're taking the peels off,
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
But blueberries, yes.
Yes, blueberries, yes, because they have a large surface area. They got a lot of skin on them. So, they tend to pick up more of whatever they spray them with.
Have you heard the new mostly vegan that say, no, not vegan, meat eaters, carnivores, that say plants don't want you to eat them. They will release toxins.
I have not heard that.
Dude.
Serious?
So there's a whole thing where like I'm reading up because I want to know which diet is going to work the best for me. But in reality, the one that I've seen work the best for me without even trying is the carnivore-ish, meaning if I cut out carbs and sugar, I shred up and I feel lean all day long. Yeah. And then when I work out, I feel lean. I feel good. I don't get heartburn. But as soon as I introduce carbs and sugars, I blow up and I start getting heartburn and I don't feel good.
Okay. Well, you know what? That is your body telling you something, so here's the thing. And this is what I would tell people is if it works for you, if it's working, you feel good on it, and if you go in and, you get your blood draw, and all the markers are good and you feel healthy. Awesome. Hey.
Yeah. But they were awesome when I was eating shitty too.
Oh, were they?
Unbelievable.
You got one of those really good metabolisms then, huh?
Well, I don't know about that. I do know that my blood is wonderful.
Yeah, that's good.
There's a guy named Gary Brecka. You ever heard of him?
I haven't.
You will. Dana White's talking about him like he's the second coming.
Okay.
But he's a blood expert, and he took my blood. I had him on the podcast. He took my blood and was just like blown away. He goes, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing." I'm like,
"That's awesome."
I'm not doing anything.
There you go. That's.
I was smoking cigars, eating like shit.
Yeah.
He said, "Well, then it's genetics."
You got to drop those cigars, dude.
I already did.
Yeah. Every once in a while is one thing, but man, if you're doing them on a regular basis, that's just a lot of toxins in your body, and you got to shift gears. You got to start looking towards longevity. Does longevity run in your family?
Not really.
Well, that's even more reason to take care of yourself, right?
Yeah. I mean, we all die though.
Well, of course, but we want to forestall that as long as possible.
You think a cigar is that harmful?
I think it's pretty harmful. Yeah. I mean, if you were having if you were having a couple of alcoholic drinks, I would say that's probably better than inhaling cigars. Even though you're not putting that cigar in your lungs, you're still picking it up in the mucosa around your mouth, and there's just a lot more of it than with a cigarette.
Do you drink?
Yeah, I'll have an occasional drink.
Do you don't smoke, obviously?
No.
Ever? You've never had a cigar?
Oh, I have.
What'd you think of Arnold?
I don't think it's good for his health.
But he's been doing it forever.
I think it's trashed his health.
I was at an art gallery once, and Arnold Schwarzenegger came in, and he was kind of getting mobbed, and he told me to get him out of there, because I worked there. And so I said, "Yeah, come with me." And I grabbed his arm, and his arm wasn't solid rock.
Yeah,
it was
probably solid rock in the day. But I don't think that these guys keep that level of fitness any longer than they have to.
But how do you tighten everything up?
You know, Brad, it's a combination of working out, which you're doing, you know, and eating right. You know, that's going to have the biggest impact on your muscle tone and your muscle growth. You know, whatever you're doing is working. You know, I've been watching you on Instagram, and you know, I can see the changes.
Well, thank you. I'm about to light them up again because I took it easy for a minute.
Yeah.
This got injured, then my freaking leg got injured.
Yeah.
And
are you warming up sufficiently before you start?
I've never warmed up.
Well, that's the thing. You got to warm up. Jump on a treadmill or a bike for 10 or 15 minutes before, just to get your core temperature up. You know, and then do a couple of light sets of whatever body part you're going to be training. You know, and don't hit it with the maximum load first.
Do you think high rep is good?
Yeah, high rep for the warm up is good. You know, and then I like tens. I do everything like in tens.
When you're building?
Pretty much. Yeah.
What about if you're just trying to firm?
You know, I think that the same thing that helps to build a muscle helps to firm a muscle. It's really the same thing, just to a different degree.
Okay, so enough about the old nutrition. Most people can, you know, Google that shit anyway. Oh, last question. Lean body. Do you guys have auto ship?
We do. We have auto ship.
Where do I go get auto ship?
So you can get that at Labrada, actually leanbody.com. If you go to leanbody.com, you can get the auto ship there. You can also get auto ship on Amazon.
And they'll just ship it right to my house.
Yes, sir.
Every time.
Yep, it's a subscription.
Because if I say to myself, man, I'm going to drink 2 of these a day.
Yep.
Well, then I know I need 60 and I need them dropped off every time.
That's right.
And I want them automatic.
You're a planner, aren't you?
Well, I just like, when it comes to that shit, yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing is, I have this old saying that I like. I mean, I didn't invent the saying, but I like the saying. It's, you know, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so true about your nutrition. Okay, like that very thing you just said about having the shakes, you know, come to your home, you know, once a month so that you have them ready whenever you're going to eat. Okay. The other piece of it, and I just want to mention this for those of you that, you know, really want to get after their diet and want to stick with the diet and not fall off the diet, you have to have food prepared in advance. You know, so what I'll do in the morning after that shake that I told you about for breakfast, I'll literally have 2 or 3 meals, you know, in Tupperware, you know, with the fish or the chicken and, you know, potato and vegetables, whatever that I'm eating that day. I'll have those in my cooler. And when I'm at work, you know, when it comes time to eat, you know, I'll look at the clock, I'll go down to the lunchroom, I'll pop that thing in the microwave for a minute and a half, and then I eat. Now, if I didn't bring that food with me, and I wait until I'm hungry, I will eat anything that's not nailed down. You know, it's not that I'm superhuman and have super willpower. You know, a burger, you know, that Five Guys, that starts looking really damn good, you know, around lunchtime if you don't have anything else to eat. So you got to plan ahead of time, you know, and so it just takes the risk out of it, you know, by planning ahead.
What's the best carbs? White rice, brown rice,
you know what?
Sweet potatoes?
Complex carbs is the answer. You know, so carbohydrates that are broken down slowly, you know, carbohydrates are broken down at different rates and converted into blood sugar, okay? And so you want to stick with the complex ones because those break down slowly. They raise the blood sugar more slowly than simple carbs like sugars.
What about like sweet potatoes?
Sweet potatoes are great. Oatmeal is great. Rice and beans is great. You know, in fact, I eat a lot of all of those.
And even though they're carbs, it doesn't matter.
No, in fact, I eat them. That doesn't mean I eat an unlimited amount of them. I'll eat a moderate amount of them, you know, which is to say I'll eat a portion of them that's about the size of my closed fist at a meal. You know, my protein is about the size of my hand. You know, so a piece of fish or a piece of chicken about the size of my open hand. You know, and so that's just a rough rule of thumb.
So a New York strip, that's skinnier but longer. So
dude, how often are you eating those New York strips?
5 days a week.
5 days a week? Can you live on 3?
I mean, I could, but why? If it's just calories in, calories out.
Well, okay. Again,
some people say that steak's one of the best foods on the planet.
It's a good source of protein. It's the saturated fat you have to work. But again, that's why I told you, if your blood work is good and it's not affecting your blood lipids in a negative way or affecting your heart in a negative way, then knock yourself out.
What about hard-boiled eggs?
I think that eggs are good foods. You know, again, don't overdo them. A couple a day is good.
But not Like if you just get rid of the yolk, is that the
You know
bad
what?
part?
It just depends on the person. You know, typically I will, if I make an omelet with 6 eggs, I'll have 6 egg whites and I'll have 2 of the yolks.
So you're just like old school bodybuilder type.
Well, I'm old school in the sense that I eat every 3 hours regularly, you know, which is really the best way to manage blood sugar and to also keep the body fed in terms of giving it the nutrients it needs when it needs it. So I'm old fashioned that way. And I'm not prone to trying the latest fad diets. You're not going to find me on the carnivore diet.
No?
No.
Because you like your carbs too much, or you don't think it's good for you?
No, because I like balance. I tell people that like this 40-30-30 diet is really good.
What's that?
Which is it's to say 40% protein, 30% carbs, 30% fat.
Now, let's switch over to entrepreneurial shit.
Okay.
So you're lifting weights, obviously. That takes a full-time thing. You're not making any money while you're winning championships, are you?
Well, I was winning championships. I was doing seminars. I was traveling all over the world and, being hired by gym owners and promoters to do seminars and guest appearances and that.
Talking about weightlifting?
Mm-hmm, talking about bodybuilding. And then I did work with Weider Health and Fitness at the time. Joe Weider
Sure.
is a name that a lot of
It's like an iconic name.
Older athletes will remember. And I was signed to Weider Health and Fitness, and so I was making decent money with that endorsement as well. And some other endorsements that I had. Yeah, but it wasn't until I retired from pro bodybuilding that I launched Labrada Nutrition.
And what made you decide, hey, I want to launch this business?
Well, Brad, I'm 35 years old at the time. I told Robin when we got married that I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for 10 years. I'm going to do this until I'm 35, and then I'm done. And true to my word, when I hit 35, I retired from professional bodybuilding. I felt that I had accomplished everything that I could accomplish in pro bodybuilding, and it was just time to move on to the next chapter of my life. There's life after bodybuilding, And so I had worked with some of the world's largest supplement companies, and I felt that I could do a better job. And so, after Weider, I was one of the first 3 guys at Metrics. You remember Metrics?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was with Metrics, and then I launched my own company in 1995. So it was just time to move on. I felt that I could do a better job, and yeah.
How long did it take you to get in 20,000 retail stores?
No, now that 20,000 convenience stores is something that we've accomplished just in the last 4 years. Because we spent a long time, over 20 years, building the following for the brand in the gyms.
What was the brand of the gyms called?
Lean Body.
Lean Body the whole time?
Lean Body. And of course, we've got other products under the Labrada Nutrition line, but Lean Body is our flagship. And so we spent many years building Lean Body in the gyms. And, and about 4 or 5 years ago, we figured out that we could cross over from the gyms into the general population, what we call going from the island to the mainland. And so we had some trials in some convenience stores and things, and it just went great. People just started loving it and buying it, and now we're just growing like crazy all across the United States.
Well, I hope you get in the airports, because I'll tell you, everywhere I fly, I'm trying to not eat the airplane food.
Oh, I hear that.
And so I go up to the little kiosks everywhere, and I'm looking for protein. It's just like any protein. I don't care whose it is. Just, can I get some protein?
Yep.
And there's no protein drinks. I can't find them anywhere in airports. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I think that the people that are stocking the shelves are missing the boat, because there's a lot of healthy, athletic guys like you that are looking for those drinks when they're flying.
100%.
Yeah. I look for them myself.
Yeah, way more than me.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get in there, but yeah, I think you should. So was there any struggles along the way?
Oh, gosh.
Did you almost go out of business?
Dude, it's like I have an MBA from Screw You, okay? I mean, I have made every mistake that you can imagine. I've almost been bankrupt twice, So if anybody tells you that starting and running a business is an easy slog, obviously they've never started and run a business, okay? You just learn. You learn. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But yeah, I mean, we started out, we didn't even have our books set up. I had a CFO friend of mine come in and set up our books, because we were basically just running things by the seat of our pants. I mean, go figure, right? And obviously that was only 6 months into the business, but we literally built all the systems and all the departments, from the ground up. And I will tell you, I'll put my team up against any company in the U.S. I mean, we got a world-class team.
How many employees do you have now?
How many employees?
Yeah.
50.
It seems like the brand seems like there'd be, thousands.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's growing. It's growing. We're going to be adding a lot of outside sales personnel this year as we expand into the convenience stores across the country.
What if somebody on the bomb squad wants a job with you? Should they?
They just need to reach out to me, man.
Labrada.com?
Labrada.com.
Or again, you guys can hit him up in the DMs on social media.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
Lee Labrada Official. So what's next, bro? Like what are your goals next? Usually especially with bodybuilders, you guys set these goals and you're obsessed about getting them. You have extreme discipline.
You bet. And we want our lean body to become the #1 best-selling protein shake in the United States. So I'm just laser locked and focused on that.
Who you got to beat?
Well, we have competition from Muscle Milk. We have competition from Premier. We have competition, from Core Power. There's a number of them.
I've seen two of those.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Like if you were to have a 5-second taste test of
I'll tell you that #1, ours tastes the best, hands down. And taste is king when it comes to taste. Nowadays, people are just not going to drink a chalky drink. The days of chalky protein drinks are gone because the technology's here. You can have a great tasting protein drink that's also nutritious. So we got the best tasting drink, bar none. I'll put them up against anybody. #1. #2, 40 grams of protein, 0 sugar, and it has fiber in it. It's just a great product.
260 calories versus, let's say
260 calories versus, if you're going to get a 40 grams from a piece of meat or something, you're probably looking more at like 400 to 500 calories.
Yeah. The Premiers, I forget what those are, but my wife brought home some Premiers. They're not bad.
Yeah,
they're not bad.
They're a good product. Huh?
But I do like Lean Body better. And plus you have a shitload of flavors.
Man, we do. We just added a chocolate peanut butter flavor that's just amazing.
Why so many flavors?
It tastes like a liquid peanut butter cup because people like variety, and so they and there's plain chocolate and vanilla fans also. I'm one of those guys that tends to stick with basic flavors and I just like those. But we've got everything from mint chocolate to peanut butter to strawberry to banana. It's just we run the whole gamut.
You have plain chocolate?
We sure do.
Yeah, plain chocolate's usually one I'm tasting. I might go try the peanut butter one. I'm going to order auto ship. I'll tell you that. I'll be one of your customers. When I get ripped, I'm going to say it's because of Lean Body.
All right.
So appreciate you coming in. If you could tell the Bomb Squad anything, what would you tell them?
I would tell the Bomb Squad to believe in themselves, to set goals, to believe in those goals, and work diligently towards those things. If you can imagine it, then and you're willing to put in the work and you have a plan and you work that plan, that you can get those goals.
Hey, you also wrote a fitness book.
I did. It's called The Lean Body Promise. It was a BarnesandNoble.com bestseller. Back in the day, it was published by HarperCollins, and it's still available.
Lean Body Promise.
And we have a Lean Body app that you can get on both for Apple and Android, and it's free. It's a Lean Body app.
What's it do?
So essentially talks about the nutrition program, exercise program, makes recommendations, helps you to track everything.
Has a calorie tracker?
Has everything in it.
So I could type in what I ate and it'll tell me all the macros?
Yes.
Because, I mean, when it boils down to it, it's just macros, isn't it?
Well, some people will tell you that it's just macros, but those are the people that think a calorie is a calorie is a calorie. A calorie of ice cream is not the same as a calorie of fruit, or a calorie of vegetables, So, it's not just about macros. You should track your macros, but you should look at the composition of your food as well.
But you see these guys on the internet, they got abs. They're talking about, don't eat vegetables, only eat meat. Then you see the ones, that are don't eat meat, only eat vegetables.
Yeah,
Who's right?
I think either extreme is asking for trouble. I think that if you look at your teeth, okay, you've got some canines, okay, or what used to be canines, and you also have crushers, you have molars, which essentially to me tells me that you're designed to both eat meat and to eat plants. You're an omnivore. Okay. So I think that balance is the key. I think that, I think that when you have a balanced diet, you're going to function better.
Folks, there you have it. Now listen, if you guys want to follow this dude, Lee Labrada Official on Instagram, go get Labrada Lean Body from Labrada. No.
Lean Body from leanbody.com.
Leanbody.com. Uh-huh. And then your website.
And then the Lean Body Coaching, you can get that at leanbodycoaching.com if you want help getting a life coach to help you get into shape and stay in shape.
Well, my team wrote down Labrada.com. That's just your website.
That is the parent company. And so there you will also find Lean Body Shakes, but you'll also find other products that are in the line.
Got it. Folks, you'll see the links below. Appreciate you tuning in. As always, until next time, keep it real.
Dropping bombs with the real Bradley. Subscribe now.